it's just not, I can't remember people's names. It's terrible.
That's all right. Just like, I like that guy over there. Okay, getting this live on Facebook.
Let me rename myself from Fernando to Wyatt.
There's no confusion there. All right, this is awesome. Okay. Hi, everybody. We are getting loaded. Well, that's all right. Loading. Like, I like that guy over there. It's early in the day still.
Yes. Not too early, though, to get loaded.
It is Thursday. Oh, Wyatt, this is awesome. Okay, let's give everyone a second to rally up here.
I'm gonna dim my lighting a little bit. Now that I got the fancy lighting, yay.
Cool. All right. The Celebrity Spotlight featuring Wyatt White and the Coiling Gizmo, the Coil Gizmo.
The professional deluxe Coiling Gizmo.
The professional deluxe, not just the regular Coiling Gizmo.
That's right. Because this is the package. This is serious business that we're going to do today.
Oh, we've got Danielle here on the commentary. Hey, Danielle.
Hey, Danielle. I need to meet this Danielle.
You really do. She is a force to be reckoned with. So Danielle put together our Celebrity Spotlight little presentation here as everyone just starting to join on in. We are going to be introducing everyone to Wyatt White, as if you don't know the man with the plan, the wire master already.
They might not know me.
Today's Celebrity Spotlight is featuring the Evergreen Dream Strand from Jesse James Beads. We've got 16 gauge artistic wire. Wow, that is some big fat wire. And the professional deluxe Coiling Gizmo, plus your designer flush cutters and chain nose pliers. All right.
Just doing the Vanna White. We're not relatives, but I always say we are.
Can you do it again now that we're live and everyone can see us?
Oh. The professional deluxe Coiling Gizmo. It's out because I couldn't find one here at home, so I had to go over to the office, go out to the warehouse, get one, and do the inventory thing. Yeah, so it was interesting. Luckily, I'm 7 minutes from the place.
Oh, that is not so bad. It's like you
not bad at all.
At the office. Beadalon must love that.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
So guys, hi, this is our very first Jesse James Bead Celebrity Spotlight. I am your host, Sarah James, and our special guest today is the wire extraordinaire, talented designer. You know him from Beadalon. This is Wyatt White. Welcome, Wyatt. It's so great to have you here today.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes. Like this has been, we've been talking about it all week long, how crazy of a week, or how crazy of a week, but how crazy of
a year.
How crazy of a year it has been. And I texted Wyatt this morning and I was like, Wyatt, like, how are you? How are you doing? We're getting ready for this live show. And Wyatt, today is a really big day for you. 9 weeks past your super major surgery. Is that right?
Correct. Very happy that that's all done, over and done with.
Well, you look great, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel great. I really do. They're doing amazing things these days.
I'll tell you, modern medicine is like,
you
don't really realize how advanced it is until you're under the knife and
right.
Do it. But
that is the truth. That is the very truth.
They have got some tricks under those doctors' cloaks. That is for dang sure.
Yes, they do.
Oh.
Thank goodness, you know.
Yeah, thank goodness is absolutely right. And today's the last day of 2020. It's crazy. This year, it's like what started out in the spring as the slowest, most like, how the heck are we going to do this year ever, has somehow zipped by, or it has for me anyway.
Yeah, well, it was a little slower for me, but I'm so glad to say bye-bye. Forward, not backwards.
always only forward, never backward. Yes. A friend of mine gave me that quote a couple of years ago, and it's one that has rung true. It's like, it's good to always keep on looking forward. And with a new year, like no matter what is going on, a new year and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day always has such a refreshing feel to it.
Yeah,
So,
it's just a little, tonight's going to be, you know, a little strange because there's going to be nobody around. So that's kind of a bummer, but you know, we'll do a couple Zooms, some FaceTimes and stuff like that, and
nice.
see what happens.
Yeah. Will you and Fernando watch the ball drop? They're still doing that down in Times Square.
Yeah, we will. Unfortunately, it's raining in Brazil, and so there won't be as much fireworks. There, it's more like pyrotechnics. It's amazing.
Wow.
I thought we had good fireworks and pyrotechnics here. Oh my gosh, the whole of I forget which one of the beaches it is, but it just like, it's crazy. They have barges out there, but it's pouring rain in Brazil right now. So they think that it might not happen this year, which is kind of sad. Oh, I found out what I dropped. I dropped our bracelet.
The last bit of 2020 to just come and rain on our parade.
Yeah, definitely.
Literally and figuratively. So guys, as people are just joining in here, let's we have Wyatt on from Beadalon. Wyatt, you are one of the best wire artists and teachers, educators for wire art that I have ever experienced in this industry.
There's a bunch out there that are I would classify them a few steps above me. But thank you.
You know what, Wyatt, you got charisma to boot, and the way that you explain things is really great. And like, not only is Wyatt a designer for Beadalon, this is another fact that friends out there might not know. Wyatt is also a tool inventor, and it is not one, but 2 patents under the Beadalon name. Is that correct?
Yeah, 1, 2, actually there's 3.
Oh, wow.
There's 3, yeah.
What are these tools that?
Well, it's the banding pliers. The banding pliers. I don't have any down here, but it makes a double right angle in square wire. So when you have 3, 4, 5, however many square wires you want to use for setting a stone, it makes a double right angle in the half round wire, so you can make a really tight first fit based on. And there's 4 different pliers to handle. Each of the pliers handles 2 different sizes of half round wire. Okay. Excuse me, square wire. So you bend the half round wire onto the square wire. Go to our website. We have some good things on there that show how the banding pliers work.
We'll have to get back on here to explain that one and give us a visual tutorial, because I know that bangles is a personal jewelry favorite of mine, and that would be a really, really cool tutorial to share with this crew.
Yeah, definitely.
But for today, we are working with Vanna White. If you could please come to the stage again and show us what is this gizmo.
Okay, so
the warehouse yesterday, just saying the word gizmo over and over again.
The professional deluxe coiling gizmo is this guy right here. This is what it comes in. I've had to take this one out so that I could get it because I couldn't find one here at home. So what it is there are several parts to it. There's a turning portion, which I will take off because I want to show you how you set it up.
Okay.
So it's this guy right here. So what this guy does is it has a just like an electric drill set on here. And what that does is that holds the different rods that come with it. And notice how long the rods are. So this gives you a rod that's much longer than the regular coiling gizmo. Yeah, it's more money, but it's not that much more money. I don't know what you'll be selling it for, but the normal retails around $44. So it's a little bit of an investment. You may have it for less, you know, obviously that's the suggested manufacturer's retail for it. But it comes with many rods. I don't know how many there are here. There's 5 different rods.
But there's going to be making with this, Wyatt? Give us the
Well,
end, because this is like this is like a lot of metal and bits and bobs.
yeah,
What
this is the end result that we're going to do. So this gives you the ability to make either perfectly wrapped coils, excuse me. Yeah, perfectly wrapped coils, or they can not be perfectly wrapped coils.
I love the look of this one, how it's like, it's perfectly imperfect. Like it's got the perfect bangle shape to it, but it's got that like wild, organic, wiry look.
Yeah, this is more of a cuff bracelet than actually a bangle, because a bangle is usually all the way. However, you can make these into bangles. You can make these into bangles because you can attach them together. Uh-oh, what happened to me?
Oh, you're here.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, so you could attach this. You just have to make it longer. And see, I can open this up quite a bit. I can actually put it on. I wouldn't want to wear it because it's too small for me and they could pop off. But they're totally adjustable. This is the bigger one, the longer one that I just did as a just to see it, and that one actually does fit me a little bit better.
Beautiful.
So that was just a crazy one that I wanted to do a little practice. I haven't made one of these in a while, so I wanted to be able to see just placement is a little tricky to get it exactly right. But since the bracelet isn't, as you pointed out, the bracelet's not like a perfect type thing. You can get them perfect, but it's going to take you a whole lot longer. Well, most people, it takes a whole lot longer. But I thought it would just be fun because somebody could whip something like this up today and wear it tonight, obviously. If you have a long rod, I mean, you could probably run to the store and you could wrap the wire around this, but it's going to take you a while. But there are other ways to make this without the tool. However, this tool you will love. If you need to make a lot of jump rings, this is your tool.
You can make jump rings with it too?
Absolutely. By just wrapping the whole rod from start to finish.
And then just snip, snip, snip.
Yeah, so we talked about this. We talked about the rods. Now this is the other side of it. So this has a hole large enough for the largest rod. Spotlight. And that is what helps to make this sturdy. Okay, so you have this connected to this side, like so. Mm-hmm. And then you have this connected on the other side. However, if you're making several of these bracelets, you want them all the same size, you can adjust this so that the distance from here to here is the exact distance you need for the length of the bracelet. So if you were going to make, as you were saying, a bangle, you just have to move this out and just do your back and forth, tie them together, and then adjust them either out or in so that it's just the right size. But the cool thing about a coil is that you can open it and close it more than you can a regular bracelet. Okay. So those two things, then you have a little Allen wrench. And the Allen wrench goes right into this little place here. I don't know why this thing is asking me to unmute myself because we have, in order not to have it go back and forth. So this tightens these down. So if you need to, oops, sorry. This tightens these down, which are right there, and this comes with it. Be very careful when you open the package because this usually comes undone from where it's supposed to be and usually falls down to the bottom of this package. So watch for that. And then you also get this little gizmo. Okay, so this little gizmo will attach to your wire, and then you can attach it literally across the room to a doorknob or something, and you can make that much twisted wire.
Wow. So
okay, so you can just put
your own twisted wire with whatever color or gauge or whatever.
And go as far as you want. It's a little harder the longer it gets to get it completely even throughout the whole twist. Okay. But you can do it. So lots of fun things that you can do with this. We also have several videos on this. We actually have the inventor, oh my goodness, I can't think of his name. Mr. Gertz, Leroy Gertz, who invented all the coiling gizmos.
Yeah, I think that the coil is really, really cool. And a lot of our fans have mentioned the Conetastic or wanting just more technique in terms of wire. And this is one that we haven't really played with yet. And it's a new cool tool.
Well, I'm really glad you mentioned the Conetastic, because this end right here,
Yeah.
you can put all of the Conetastic cones into this and speed up your work.
Okay.
So all of the Conetastic ends fit in this guy. So you can even put like a drill bit in this if you wanted to try to hold something bigger to get a hole in it, and not use a power tool.
Gotcha.
Because anything that will fit in here, you're good to go. All right. So if you notice, there's some little nice things in here that really help you. These little pads. These pads keep from destroying whatever you attach this to. Okay, so if you have a nice wood table, I would first of all not use it on a nice wood table. But
pro tip.
your workbench, great place. A countertop, another great place. You just want to have it somewhere where you can get it nice and tight and be sturdy. And you have to watch these things because they do tend, after you're twisting them on, and it's messing with the adhesive on these little pads. So just make sure that the pads are always in place. If they come off or won't stick anymore, get some pads and put in there. Unless you're just attaching it to a workbench, and then you're fine.
I love getting, Wyatt, you're hands-on with these tools all the time. Like, I love getting your perspective on like these little things that I wouldn't think of, like, oh, make sure that you check on those pads just so that you don't mar up your table. That's a really,
right.
It's a tiny tip, but it's a good one. And it's one that you are familiar with because you're working with this particular product all the time.
Yeah, I love this stuff, obviously. All right, so
over here is saying, Paul O'Brien, Danielle just asked if anyone's ever used this nifty gizmo before. Paul O'Brien chimed in and she says that she's had a gizmo for a while and she loves it. And Jan Scherpenberg, hi Jan. Jan says that she's used it to make jump rings. And Ricky Stevenson too. Cool. I had no idea you could do that. That's awesome. And if we have time, I would like to see that as well.
Absolutely. I've got some wire here that we can certainly do that. And I'm pretty free on time today. Since all we're going to do later this afternoon is hopefully have champagne, and Fernando's cooking an amazing meal. And so we're going to just have some fun.
I love that. I really do. It's not the typical New Year's, but it's like, it's remembering and being part of the things that really matter. So
right.
I'm really happy for you guys.
Right. Thanks. I hope you guys are going to do about the same.
Yeah, we are. We got a little Airbnb in Philly. It's this old house from the 1812s. It's me and Rodrigo. And we just like got out of Dodge. We're going to cook dinner. We got a bottle of champagne, chilling downstairs, doing
nice.
And that's that. Hanging out.
Awesome. Stay inside.
Staying inside. Yeah, it's lucky outside anyhow.
And you can get all kinds of dinner like delivered if you want.
I know.
Or is Rodrigo going to cook?
I don't know. We haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Back to the business. All right. So now if you will switch to my other camera, please.
Yeah, I'm looking to do that right now. Show non-video. Okay.
Let me change my lighting down here. All right.
Hey, Rita. Rita says, OMG, hi, guys. What's up, girlfriend?
All right. I'm not seeing the down camera.
Okay, it's asking you to start video. So on your phone, you should get a little notification on the other video. Thanks for bearing with us, guys.
Okay. Always craziness. All right, so I need to see this side. So I'll just bring this camera over here. All right, now let me just get these out of the way so the camera will stop focusing there. Oops, my lip.
All right. Are we ready to spotlight your hands, Wyatt? Should I take us over down to the mat?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I've unscrewed this so that it's going to fit on my table. And I'm just going to put it, I'll just put it over the top of this and then push it in as far as it'll go. And then I'm tightening, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So just right tighten and get it to where it's nice and tight. And then watch that on your knee if you're as close as I am, because I just rammed my knee into this thing. All right, you want it to be nice and tight. All right, now I have forgotten how long my bracelet is. So I grabbed a measurement because this one is a little bit small. You see here, it's a little bit small. So I'm gonna do it a little bit larger. This particular one is about, that's why, it's about 5.5 inches. So this is for all of our bird wrist people out there. The cool thing about this, again, is you can pull these out and enlarge it.
You can actually pull the coils out and enlarge it.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
With these little end things, I'll have to go back and make sure that guy stays in place. All right, so now that's a little bit larger. So that was about, this is about 6 inches. So I think I'm gonna do about 7 inches of the wire. All right, so as I told you, it's easier to insert the rod. I'm using the largest rod, which is, I hope it's on the package because I can't remember these things. Doesn't appear to be on here, but I will get that in the catalog if I can find my catalog. Yeah, it's right here. Anyway, we're going to use the large one. I will look that up in a little while. So the best thing to do is to have this pointed forward like that. So it's going to go right on like this. But insert the rod so that it will go all the way through here, and then set it. Am I going to be able to get both of those at the same time? Yes, great. All right, so this is going to go on. I'll loosen it a little bit. And then I want this to be exactly 7 inches apart. So I got to scoot this over just a bit. That goes in the end. And to loosen this, you just hold it and open this up so that rod will fit just right in there, okay? And then you just, to tighten it, you just hold it and screw this in until it tightens on the rod, okay? Now, 7 inches apart. And that's
bring your
7.5.
Right?
So I'm going to scoot this another 1/2 inch, because this gives you a kind of a no fail on size. Now with the loops, there's a little bit of nudge room in there too. Now if you wanted to make a bangle, then you could just make it a little bit longer. Probably a couple, at least 2 more inches, and then tie the ends together, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so now we've got, you can't see my hand, but my hand over here is just doing the crank, okay? That's the only secret to this. This is looking pretty good here. I'd like the camera to be a little bit farther, but my holder here, you can't see this right now, but the holder kind of gets in the way of the other camera. Okay, so now I'm going to take artistic wire, 16 gauge.
Okay.
And this is approximately 10 feet. So we're going to take our cutters and just snip off these guys. These are the little tabs that they put on to hold the wire together. And then the first thing I want to do is just kind of open this up. And this then goes into here. So there are 3 little things that close down over the rod. inside here. That leaves spaces for you to attach the wire. So you just have to shove the wire in, just like that. Make sure it goes as far in as you can put it. Then, now comes your personal preference. I like to take the first row and try to make these as close as possible the same size.
Oh,
isn't that great?
A watch, yes.
And so pretty. Now think about doing this with twist wire, 2 different colors. I mean, we're talking endless possibilities for things to do with this tool. And then I'm going to go and make a full round here and then come back across. And now I've just got the wire back here, just letting it, you know, unroll from the coil. And then I try to put these about the same.
This is just delightful to watch, Wyatt.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
This tool will give you some stuff that you didn't have before.
I'm seeing that.
Oops. And it got stuck on my shirt.
So it looks.
And then I want to make that double roll here. Okay, now comes the fun part. Now I've got to unroll this wire so I can get the beads on the wire. Okay. So I think on the one that I'm going to do now, I'm not going to do the little caps that are so beautiful, but they're really hard to make stay.
Oh, I see that.
Okay, so we're just going to use that, and this is the strand that now this is a strand that you have in stock, right?
Yeah.
Because this is gorgeous.
Thank you.
All right, so you need to be able to use the beads on the strand that have a hole big enough for the 16 gauge wire. You can do this with 18 gauge wire, but it's just a little too flimsy, my opinion. All right, so we're gonna unroll this, and the good thing about that is you're not gonna waste this wire. So I basically got this clear out here with my arm. See that? It's really the only way I know of how to get this to get it open while you're sitting down. And then the last thing you have to do is cut off this little end. Okay, because you won't be able to get that through the beads, and you want it as straight as possible so that there's no strain on the beads as they go on. Okay, so now we just cut the end of this, and unfortunately these beautiful abalone beads have too small of a hole. However, if you have a Beadalon bead reamer, you can make the holes bigger and you'd be able to use them. So sad about that, but what are you going to do? All right, so I used
side and just save them for earrings.
Oh yeah, you don't throw them away. You don't use them in this project. I put all of my Jesse James beads back into a canister like this that you can get at just about anywhere, and then that becomes the Jesse James beads pile that I have at home.
The Wyatt secret stash.
Yeah, I'm not really well organized, but certain things I am. All right, so we're going to put that bead on. We're going to put this bead on. We're going to take that off. We're going to put this bead on. Now this bead, because it's I believe it's a glass pearl. Yeah. You sometimes need to the hole sometimes gets a little bit clogged with the material that they put over these beads, and so sometimes you just have to kind of twist it a little bit. All right, now we're going to put one of these guys on, and you know you could rearrange these however you want. This is just how I did it. And since this one's a little bit longer, we could probably put some more of these beads because these beads are truly fabulous. Yeah, these guys right here, delicious. Then we're going to take this one off and put this on. And obviously, you don't have to match this and have it go in size. I didn't do this one as a matchy match, and it looks kind of fun. But you know, it's not for everybody. Some people might want to have all the same beads on here.
Mm-hmm.
And someone asked, when was that? I think I was doing this at a trade show, and somebody said, well, could you leave spaces in here so that that bead is sunk down more? Absolutely, yes, is the answer to that. Your beads would just need to be a little bit smaller, but it would still work just fine. All right, then we have one more to go here. Okay, now you just let these guys come down the length of the wire and put a little bend back in the end of your wire so that in case you drop the beads, they don't come flying off onto the floor and you're down on the floor picking beads up. I have a rule. Don't pick any beads up off the floor. It's just not right. If they're on the floor, they belong to the vacuum cleaner, but that doesn't work for
I think you'd give your vacuum cleaner a run for its money if you tried to vacuum up one of those 18mm boho beads.
Exactly. All right. So now here, I like to make a nice bend just above where that bead's going to sit, so that that can just kind of go in like that, and then hold the wire and make the other bend carefully, because you don't want to break the bead. Okay. And then you're just going to take a wrap or two.
Coiling time.
And you at the same place, so that you have it on the same plane going. So you want it as straight as you can. Come and do the same thing here. Just grasp. I'm now grasping with my chain nose pliers. I could easily be using my bent chain nose pliers, which I think is better because then I don't have my hand out here. I have it actually here in a more comfortable position. About 8 years ago, I began loving the bent chain nose over the regular chain nose. And prior to that, I would have argued that you don't need both. Wrong. You need both.
Yeah. Do you tell why? Do you enjoy the bent chain nose ones because it just gives you a little bit more of that like intimate work with?
No, mostly for wire wrapping. I like to be able to hold the pliers like this so I can see exactly what I'm doing, because this presents it up straight up to my face.
Aha.
And when you're holding this pair of pliers, the only way you get this up to your face is to turn your wrist like this and turn it up. It's not as comfortable. It's just not as comfortable. Gotcha. And when you get older, comfort in making jewelry helps you to want to make more jewelry. All right. So now I've got this up like this. I'm just going to hold it nice and tight there and just bend this straight down as well. Okay. So we're basically making a place for the bead to be. And then we're going to, take a couple more wraps. And we're going to make a place for this big bead. And you got to kind of judge how high this needs to be for this angle. See, and I've got them pretty close to lining up. This one's over a little bit, but we'll be able to do those adjustments afterwards. And now we're going to bend this one down so we have that nice and tidy. And we're going to go hopefully close to the center, which 7 inches would be 3.5 inches. Yeah, I'm a little bit off, but that's okay. So I'll go just a little bit farther, and we will set the center stone. This one's even bigger than that one. So I'll go up to about here and make that bend, and then see where we are. Yeah, that's pretty good. Set your pliers down. Sorry, it's messy time. And then bend this down on this side. And obviously you could do any beads that you wanted, any beads. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is a great bracelet if you had the Coiling Gizmo at home today, just to grab some beads from your stash and go crazy with it. You could pick beads, different color palettes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we are using 16 gauge artistic wire. Is that correct? Not German style.
Right. You could use German style. German style will produce a harder wire to use. You should start out with artistic just so that you can get used to it, unless you're using the brass. The brass is very hard in artistic and in the German style. So brass is just inherently has more tensile strength. So whenever you want the bracelet to be stronger, you want to use the German style.
So artistic wire is a good wire to start out with, a good beginner wire, and then graduate up to the German style.
Exactly. All right. See, it's wanting to kind of twist, which is okay, because we can make all the final adjustments afterwards. Now I just bent that one in nice and tight, and it's going to want to walk a little bit. And then we're going to do this and come down here to the end. And we're going to do the same thing we did for the other one. But I'm going to turn these in, so I'm going to make this one just a little bit longer. And I'll show you and tell you what turning it in means. All right, so then I'm going to push that down nice and tight. And then take a couple of wraps and come back this way just a little bit, just enough to get enough wire on there to hold nicely. Let's go to here. And then I'm going to cut. Okay, now comes the hardest part of all, getting this off the rod. So the longer you go and the tighter you wrap, the harder it is to get off. So the best thing to do is just undo this guy until you can pull it out. And then just keep pulling from here until you get it about halfway out, and then you can just hold on to it. And there you've got it. Then put this back on immediately if it's come off. All right, so now I'm going to take this off so that I don't jab myself with it. And this one too. It's a great tool, but it can definitely hurt your leg. This little guy here, this little guy here. Yeah. If you're sitting in a place that you don't have much room. If you've got plenty of room, leave it up and then just move this section over to another place and leave this section together so that you can just keep making them. And I would make a bunch of the bases and with beads, and then go back and then do them all together if that's how you want to work.
All right. Style.
So this piece is a little bit long, so it's okay. What I want to do is I just want to turn it and bend it right back inside. Now, if you have the battery operated reamer and you have the rounding tips, you could round that end. But I always feel like if you've got it right in the center, I don't know if you can see that. So the end of the wire is right there. You see that?
I can see it, yes.
Okay, good. So if it's centered in there, no problem. Now, what I want to do is I want to be able to turn and push this so that this guy, hopefully, might need to make a few little adjustments here. I want this guy to come down and be the end of our bracelet. Okay? So now I've got to push this back in. Just using my hands. It is a little tricky, but you can do it. See how I've then crunched that in? Now my end is sticking out a little bit, so I just go back in and cut that off. And then I can start kind of pushing it together. And see, I'm starting to bend it to make the cuff bracelet.
So you just like easily scoot it.
Many small movements with the wire is always better, because if you do big movements, you're gonna have some problems. All right, so here's our other end right here. And I'm just gonna cut this one off right inside here because we're gonna squeeze that in and start to do our other end. Let's see if I can get this up and over.
Wyatt, we've got a good question in the group. Dawn says, does the coiling work harden the wire much?
Yes, it does. That's part of the reason that we love it. So you can start out with dead soft wire, and at this point you're getting wire that's significantly harder, but it's still manageable. You can still, you can still make it do what you want. The harder wires are they get a little bit more hard. But all right, so we've got just a little bit of a difference than the original one, which is okay. But this one has a few little added fun things. And see, even this one, I could put on.
Do you know what those ends remind me of?
It's pretty wide here. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Those ends remind me of David Yurman jewelry. David Yurman with the silver and it's got the gemstones on the end. This is like, the make it at home version.
Yeah. And then these, if you want to straighten them out just a little bit, if you've left just enough room, you can do that. And pretty much voila, you've got your bracelet. And I don't know how long that took us, but so it's, it's a pretty nice little bracelet with really fun beads. You could put, and the really fun thing about this is you could wire wrap these beads on afterwards and not have them within the coil. They could be done afterwards. You could also, before you cover the ends, you could run a strand of beads through the center, just on either Beadalon wire or even on artistic wire, so that you'd have beads on the inside of the coil as well.
That's very beautiful.
Yeah, so really fun. Oops, I shouldn't have taken this down because we were going to make jump rings. Oh well, it's easy to make jump rings. Just have to put this back in. Were there any?
It's so easy to set this coiling gizmo up too. Like
it's really simple. Do we have any other questions, or is everybody just being quiet?
There is, Angela Miller is asking again about the difference between, just one more time, about the difference between artistic wire and German style. Yes, Angela, it's German style on the outside of the packaging. And Wyatt, again, with the German style is harder.
Yeah. German style is going to look like this. And the artistic wire looks like this. So the yellow indicates that this is the softer temper wire, except for if it's brass. If it's brass, it's going to be harder. And the German style wire has a temper that is harder, which means when you bend it, it's going to stay in place. Let's use a smaller one of the rods so you can kind of get an idea how small you can go. I'm trying to see what kind of material I've got.
So for jump rings, Wyatt, would you recommend to use the German style or the artistic wire?
Well, I prefer German style because the harder your jump ring is, the harder it will be to open. So if you're doing, any of that crazy chainmail stuff, it's better. That's why a lot of chainmail people use stainless steel jump rings, because they're even harder. All right, so this I'm going to go all the way out of screen for, just to show you if I have enough wire. Let me check my Jesse James Beads summer camp bag.
Woo! I got to give a shout out to Meredith. Hi, Meredith. Thanks for joining and hanging out with us today.
Oh, sorry. This was the North Pole.
Oh.
This is the North Pole. See the great bags you get when you join in Sarah's fabulous things.
Thanks. We honestly have had so much fun putting together merchandise for Jesse James Beads. Danielle is also in the comments. Her graphic designs are just through the roof this year. This
Dynamite.
She's like so good at getting like capturing the brand and just making it fun, like capturing the brand and also capturing like our whole fans essence, like the essence of our community, like fun and playful and not too serious, and it's great. So kudos.
All right, this is very thin wire. This is 24 gauge artistic, and it's probably too thin for jump rings, but you could double up or triple up jump rings. And so all you do is just hold your finger here and just wrap the wire right next to it. And if it's really light wire, you can just put your index finger in and just flip it. And look at how fast that goes.
Wyatt.
Think coils for earrings. Go ahead.
Yeah. Mary McMahon is asking, what would your preference of gauge be for jump rings?
20 gauge.
20 gauge. Okay. Man, this whips up in a flash.
Yes, it does. And if I wouldn't have torn this, there's a dispenser package part of this that I messed up by tearing it. You just open up this. Oh, this has an extra tag over it. That's a bad idea. Oh, well. All right. So you just keep going like this and you see how quickly it goes. And then once you're ready to take it off, I'm going to go just a little bit farther just so everybody sees how easy it is. Now, if you open this up, you're going to get a coil, kind of like what I did. You could bring it back and forth as well if you wanted to make just dangle earrings out of a coiled doobie flotchy. And yes, that's a real thing.
Is that a technical term?
It is. And then you could go back to making this. So all along this distance, it goes all the way out here, which measures when it's in, you can get about about 18 inches. Sorry, 16 inches. So you could probably do something that would work for the major part of a necklace. And if you coiled that much and it was fairly tight, you could stretch it out to be 18, 20 inches very easily.
I wonder if you did a tight coil like that, and then you have the looser coil and then tight coils, loose coils, would you be able, when you take it off the rod, to maybe insert some beads or some rivolis in the looser part of the coil?
Yes. You could use Beadalon wire on the inside, come out with the Beadalon wire, string your bead, go back inside, and continue. So start thinking out of the box, and you can. This tool definitely pays for itself. And then go a little bit more of this, and then the nice part is you can squeeze it down if it's not quite right for your earrings or whatever you're going to make out of these parts. All right, now to take this off, you just open this up and pull it off like we did before. And see, this remains a nice coil that can be twisted. You could put it on memory wire, just anything. Now, the way you do the jump rings, you insert this flush cutter and you hold it and you cut this direction, then you flip this and cut the other direction to have flush cuts on both sides. Okay, and then you just drop the jump rings down on your surface and you can use them. Now, if you wanted to get to this, you just come here to where one of these wires is open and just chop it. And look at what a fun little
I love that
component.
Yeah. Ooh, that would make a really fun earring.
Yep.
With like some, if I may quote Meredith Kaiser Roddy in the audience, some fun dangly doos hanging from the
Is
end.
Meredith watching? Hey,
She-
Meredith. Happy New Year.
Yay.
And then you can also do this. Now, you could put that over memory wire, pull it like that, and it would snug on the memory wire, totally transform the memory wire.
You know, that would be a fun project to see too, Wyatt, because I feel like memory wire, you string your beads on it. It feels pretty basic. You need extra tools. Like, what else can you do with the memory wire to jazz it up?
Oh my gosh, there's a million things you can do. A million.
That would be a fun masterclass. Memory wire, all the different tricks to make with your memory wire.
I feel a memory wire thing coming on.
Hopefully we remember it.
Yeah. Nice one, Sarah. Nice one.
Buzzing. I would file that one into the dad jokes category.
No, yeah, exactly. I would too. That's the perfect one for Jesse. Did you say dad or gag?
Dad. No, I said dad.
Oh, okay, good. That's what I thought.
In this household, we have dad jokes, we have bad jokes, and every once in a while, there's a real zinger.
All right, so that was jump rings as well as bracelets, but think earrings, think all kinds of things.
Hey, Wyatt, before we flip the camera up, Deanna is asking to show one more time how you cut those jump rings. Show us how you do the flush cut on both sides.
I should have done it let me do it out of a bigger wire real quick. I'll do it out of 16 gauge. Obviously, the bigger the jump rings are, the easier or the more you can cut at one time, because you can get the tip of the plier inside much easier. All right, we'll go to an even, let's see, let's go to the next one larger, just so it'll be easier to see on camera.
So Wyatt, you said this is a tool, guys. This is a Beadalon tool, the Coiling Gizmo. We're going to have it at Jesse James Beads next week, I do believe. Right now, if you are in need of any wire, we do have 21% off for 2021, ringing it in tonight. I believe the code Cheers 21. Danielle can correct me on that one if I'm wrong. And the minimum for that is 75. And we have free FedEx shipping right now for all orders over $149, which is, the post office has been the bane of our existence since the holiday season started. FedEx is the way to go, and we've got that free ship option for this weekend.
Definitely. All right. So there are holes, 3 little holes in the sides of the mechanism inside that holds the rod down when you tighten this. So you just find one of those holes, stick the wire in, and then wrap. So you just make sure it's right next to one another.
Okay.
And it's pretty easy to do. And you kind of, if you want to count, if you need a certain number of jump rings, just count that number out. And because of this sort of closing down thing, you can use any rods. So if you had piano wire in very specific sizes or any kind of hard wire, you can use that in this as well. You get the 5 sizes, and I'm going to actually look that up right now so I can tell you what sizes these are.
Did you say piano wire?
Yes.
Like for wire from a piano? Like
yes.
Wow. That would make a really cool gift for a musician.
Okay, so the rods are, we use the 7mm This is the 5mm. Then you also have a 3mm, a 2.5mm, and a 1mm. Look at that baby. It's tiny.
Teeny.
Oops. Ooh, look at me shaking. I'm ready for some champagne. All right, so 1mm, 2.5mm, 3mm, 5mm, and 7mm. So unfortunately, those aren't the proper sizes for chainmail, but you can get the you can find those. We don't sell them, unfortunately, but you can find them out in the world. All right, so I've just about used up all my wire. Let's just go ahead and use up all the wire, because you can never have too many jump rings, that's for sure. Then just loosen this, pull this off. And when you have jump rings, you want part of the jump rings to be flush. So you just hold on here, snip, then flip the cutter. So you cut these other non-flush cuts to flush cuts. So you have flat on this side and flat on that side. And there's 2 jump rings. Go back in here, cut again, then flip it this way and cut those pointy parts off. Now, what I mean by flush cut and non-flush cut, here is the flush cut is on this one. So I don't know if you can see this. No, can't see it.
Show us the cutters, Wyatt, because when you show the cutters next to the wire, you can really get the
Okay,
essence.
so this is from the, this is from the underside. And when you cut that, because the underside is angled in and this side is flat, this is the side that you want to stay on the piece of jewelry. Okay. Otherwise, you have this very sharp edge. Where is my focus here? Just can't quite get it. Yeah, it just won't quite focus on it. But anyway, you've got this type of a cut on one side, and then you got this type of a cut on the other side. It's more flat, and that's what you want on your piece of jewelry. So if we do this again, just make sure and know which way. So if your flush cut is outside, like it is here, you cut there, and then flip it and cut here. So you have the 2 flushes. And just, if you're doing chainmail, if you're not doing chainmail, you don't necessarily have to make that second cut. Although if you notice, most jump rings, they're made on a machine that has a big long rod, and then it runs them with a little spinning saw blade, and that cuts them all flush. So that's one of the reasons that jump rings cost more, because they are made pretty well. But you can get the same effect as long as you don't need, like 4,000 of them. If you need 4,000 of them, you should either buy them or get one of those machines that does do the cutting.
This is so cool. You'd never run out of jump rings when you have this coiling gizmo. I had no idea that we were going to get a
Coiling gizmo, wire, and cutters. The 3 absolute must-haves.
Wyatt, the bracelet project turned out so beautiful. And,
oh, good. I'm glad you like it. I will. I'll get it to you.
Oh, yay! Yes.
Well, actually, I'll get all of them to you if you want, and then maybe you can share them with somebody too.
Absolutely. You know what? Hey, let's give one away. Let's give one away to one of our fans that's watching. So, guys, make a comment here. Post, what should we have them post, Wyatt? And we'll pick a winner to win a bracelet.
Ooh, that was a question I wasn't expecting.
The one didn't come through on your interview Q&A email.
Let's see. What, do you want to do like the first person, or do you want to do something that's
We'll pick someone at random, so you guys can all have a chance, and then leave this
Great.
video go. We'll pick the winner. Let's see. I'll pick the winner after the weekend, so everyone has a chance to watch it. So why don't we say, what is your? We just learned how to use the Coiling Gizmo. What is your personal favorite tool to use in your jewelry making? And that could even be just your. Here, I'm gonna unspotlight the video. That could even be just your travel toolkit, or your flat nose pliers, or maybe you have something elaborate like the tying station or the coiling gizmo that you like to use. Leave a comment here, think about it, come back later, or just shout something out, and we will pick someone from the crowd to be our winner of one of the bracelets that Wyatt made over our tutorial today.
Awesome.
Yay. Hold on, let me hide this one. Cool. That was really fun, Wyatt.
Thank you. I have fun with those.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to make a sassy piece of jewelry that doesn't take too much time, or it doesn't take too much time or energy to make, and you can just have fun with it and make one for you, make some for your friends and family. It's a good project.
Great. Glad you liked it.
So thank you, Wyatt, for coming on to close out 2020 with us today. And guys, thank you so much.
No questions?
For our friends that are tuning in here. I don't see any questions right here. I've just got a bunch of people saying that they really love the bent nose pliers.
My favorite.
Cone-tastic and all the coiling tools. Aw. Sharon Piatek says that Wyatt is the boss of wire.
Thanks, Sharon. Appreciate that.
Guys, do you have any questions for our Wyatt White here? Wire questions, jewelry tips and tricks. Sharon says that this was a fantabulous tutorial.
Good.
Tammy Kelly says, raise your hand if you're a veteran. Thank you, Tammy, for your service. Oh, this is really great. It's really, really wonderful getting to interact with our fans here. We posted in Jesse James Secret Stash earlier this week, asking you guys for what types of tutorials you would like to see. And it was really awesome, the ideas and the techniques that you guys have been dreaming up. So go over to the Jesse James Secret Stash group, find that post. It's right up there in the announcement section, and let us know what you would like to see. And we'll do our damnedest to get a master out here in front of you to do some teaching. Wyatt, I always really enjoy hanging out with you. You are sparkalicious and fabulous in so many ways. I wish you a super, super happy new year. Is there anything that you want to leave with our fans before we part ways?
Not really, because this group of people and the people that are in our circle, I really don't think we need to ask one another to be kind to each other, because these people, I don't know, I probably don't know everybody in you guys' group, but the people that I know from our groups, they're just the most wonderful people. And I know that times are really, really hard out there. Just hang on. That's the best we can do right now. This thing is going to be over, and we're going to all get to be together again at some point, somewhere in the world. And just maintain the safety that you're maintaining, so that we can stop the spread. And that's really what I'm looking for in 2021, is to be able to hug my family, hug my friends, hug the great people that are out there, and be able to travel again.
Yeah, absolutely. We just had someone in the comments earlier, MJ, saying that she had to boogie on. She was going to get a COVID test today. And that is just, I think, taking the time to go and get regular tests and make sure that you're negative and, you know, God forbid you're positive, to stay home is really, really important. We have a COVID test on our agenda for today as well.
Good.
And I mirror exactly what you say, Wyatt, that it's great that we're able to maintain the sense of community and togetherness here online. But gosh dang, I can't wait to hug you all.
Yeah. That is for sure. It's just not the same world.
Yeah.
But we're going to get it back. We're going to get it back.
And we're making the best of it. We have made lemonade
Yes.
out of lemons for sure. I am super excited and hopeful for all the bright that is to come in this next coming year. That with a new year comes fresh perspective and ideas and just a fresh start. So my wish for everyone at home is to have a moment to reflect for yourself and feel peace and gratitude for everything that you have. Focus on what you've got instead of what you don't, and set your sights for some dreams for next year, and just stay present in what's going on right now. We're making it through, and I think we're doing a damn good job.
Yes, you are. Thank you for having me on, and thanks for everything that you do.
Thank you, Wyatt.
And very, very happy New Year for you and Rodrigo. I hope you have a great time. Just be very careful.
We will, of course. Happy New Year, Wyatt, and give my best and love to Fernando as well.
I will. And you do the same with your mom and dad and his wife and Rodrigo.
You got it.
All right.
All right. I'll see you in the new year, Wyatt. Thank you so much again.
Take care. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.